Okay, thank you very much for joining me this evening. You're welcome once more back to JJ Media TV, where we will be reviewing a couple of issues trending today in Nigeria. We're going to starting with the Senate. I do not know if you are aware, but today the Nigerian Senate passed the kidnapping bill. That means kidnapping equals today, as of today, kidnapping now equals death sentence without the option of fine. If you're caught kidnapping without the option of fine, if you're sending money to support terrorists, do not think that what qualifies as sending money to support terrorists are the big financiers, those that bring billions and millions. If you're sending 100 euros, 100 pounds to support an organization designated as a terrorist organization, you are also encouraging terror. Now, today, earlier, like I said, the Senate president in the assembly today had the following to say. Because, I mean, the reason why we bring all these things to us that as a means that people in this platform, that they are informed and may not be in a position to fall for victims. Bear in mind that the ignorance of the law is not an excuse.
It's something we fast track to go uh, for for public hearing and thereafter concurrence. Because in reality, everything you are saying here, you must say it at a public hearing and then panel beat it in order to suit the situation of today. The heading you want to change it now, or
This is a resolution
we haven't come.
of an executive session.
We have
Therefore, these headings should read sponsored by or pay me by Middle Housing and 108 others. That should be the heading.
that is carried. Clark, note that $108 because everything is pay me, so that is very correct. Now, distinguished colleagues, those who support that this bill be now read a second time say aye. Aye. And those again say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
So, from all indications,
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to amend Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act to designate kidnapping, hostage taking, and related offenses as act of terrorism, to prescribe death penalty for such offenses without option of fine or alternative sentences, and for related matters 2025 SB 969, second reading.
Okay. Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to amend the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act to designate kidnapping, hostage taking, and related offenses as acts of terrorism, to prescribe death penalty for such offenses without option of fine or alternative sentences, and for related matters 2025. Second reading taken. As a result of the importance of this bill is now committed to the committees on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, National Security and Intelligence, the Committee on Interior, and the lead committee will be the Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, to report back to the Senate within 2 weeks. I hope 2 weeks is good enough. Within 2 weeks. I want to thank distinguished.
okay, so we have looked at it now. You can see that the Senate is not smiling. the Senate has amended this, and this now includes that terrorism would now be part of that. There is no if, there is no but, if, so that many of you, those who are not aware, that you are guided. That's right, so that you are guided. If you are guided, then that's going to help you understand what is at stake. And in this case, that what is at stake here is very simple. That terrorism is now that kidnapping and ransom taking is now part of terrorism. Beyond that, also, something else happened in the assembly today where General Musa was confirmed as Minister of Defense. There have been private sessions, but the interaction I found very interesting. Let's quickly bring to you some of the interactions and some of the questions that saw him, that saw before he was, confirmed. The argument that arose when some, as you said, can we do as usual? Can we say he should bow and go? And people, including the Senate president, suddenly said, no, we cannot say he should bow and go. Bearing in mind that it is now obvious that everyone, including the Senate president, is afraid of Donald Trump. Recall that Marco Rubio today also is pushing for visa ban. So none of them in the National Assembly want to be included in the visa ban list. And bear in mind that I'm aware some of the names that were submitted for the visa ban. I'm not going to say anything here until America makes it public. But be that as it may, let us listen to this argument here.
Jibrin CFR, the principal officers of the Senate, distinguished senators, the special advisor to the President on Senate matters, Senator Bashir Lado, CON, that I feel highly privileged and honored to be here standing before you in this hallowed chamber.
Sorry,
I feel
can you hear
blessed
that?
and privileged.
Hold on, something is not right. Sorry, what's happening here? Okay, let me try these again and see what is happening.
Jibrin CFR, the principal officers of the Senate, distinguished senators, the special advisor to the President on Senate matters, Senator Bashir Lado, CON,
something is
that I feel highly privileged and honored to be here standing before you in this hallowed chamber.
No, something is still not
blessed.
right. Okay, we'll push that out. So, like I said, we're trying to bring you that conversation there, but the feedback is not giving us any feedback. Let's try that once more and see if that is fixed by itself. Let's try. Let's try once more. No. Okay. Let's try and fix this. People, just bear with me. Bear with me as we fix this quickly. And we're going to eventually also speak to the issue that of the PDP expulsion and the public petition against Reno or
Sir, this Peter Obi, I've told you, this Peter Obi, anybody who becomes president of Nigeria and does not give a right of place, I'm not saying an appointment for Peter Obi, Peter Obi will remove that person from office in another election. Mark my words.
So are you saying this same wave
This same wave will not stop.
Can be repeated.
This same wave, this Peter Obi, the people supporting him, the Peter Obi that I know, after this general election, they will continue.
Even though the next cycle of elections is in 4 years.
I'm telling you, those guys.
Okay. So, okay, guys. For some reason, the interview is not able to play. I do not know what is happening here, but the gist of the matter is that at some point, when suggestions were made that the General Musa, that he should take a bow and go, another senator made that proposition. Senator Godswill Akpabio, in his wisdom, stood up and said, "No." Okay, I think we may have actually. I think it's been fixed now. Let's bring this back now. That's been fixed. Thank you guys. Thanks the team that have worked on it. I don't know what it was, but thank you guys. Really, thumbs up, guys. They've fixed it now. So I'm gonna bring you that video now. Let's.
Officers of the Senate, distinguished senators, the special advisor to the President on Senate matters, Senator Bashir Lado, CON, that I feel highly privileged and honored to be here standing before you in this hallowed chamber. I feel blessed and privileged. The last time I was here, sir, was as a military man. Today, I'm standing here as a retired general. To God be the glory, sir. I am General Christopher Gwabin Musa, retired, the 18th Chief of Defense Staff, Armed Forces of Nigeria. Standing here as a great honor to present myself as nominated by Mr. President as the Minister of Defense of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I was born, sir, on 25th December 1967 in Sokoto. I spent my formative years in Sokoto before I went to the Nigerian Defense Academy as a member of the 38 Regular Course. I was commissioned in 1991 into the Infantry Corps, and I've been there all through my career. I've had the privilege of serving my country. When I got to the Chief of Defense Staff of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, for me, it's a defining moment because it gave me the privilege and understanding of the dynamics of the challenges confronting our great nation, Nigeria. And standing here, I pledge to give my best in ensuring that Nigeria is secured and safe. But we cannot do it alone. No single individual can do it. No single parastatal can do it. We need the support of everyone, every Nigerian and everyone living in Nigeria, working together as a team, because it's going to be a teamwork. The enemies we are dealing with are evil forces that don't mean this country well. And they have no respect for human life.
Okay, so this is the first part which I could classify as the introduction before the question proper. One of the questions that was thrown at him is his idea of the Sahel region. The Sahel region is that region that gives Nigeria, if you ask me my view, I will call it the trouble spot of Nigeria. Yeah? So, and understanding that the Sahel region is really, really heating up. The insecurity within the Sahel region is why Nigeria is considered a very risky country today. Let's listen to his, take on the heat up around the Sahel region.
That we first must love one another, understand that we're in this together, and believe that the challenges we're facing is a Nigerian challenge. It's not only for the armed forces or for the security forces, but it's for everyone working together. I want to assure you, we're going to work united as we did when I was the Chief of Defense Staff. The important thing is for us to take the ownership of the challenges confronting our dear nation. These are things that we can't defeat. We can't win this war. But until we are deliberate about it, until the way we are determined, knowing that we are brothers and sisters and God has a purpose, He putting us here together, is not to destroy ourselves but to build ourselves up. And that's for me the most important aspect, that all Nigerians must put hands together to defeat the enemy. The Sahel is heating up. And you can see what they are doing to Mali. We will not want such situations to come to Nigeria. And that's why our borders must be secured. Our security forces must be empowered, must be supported. And I want to thank you most especially, Mr. President, sir, for all the support given to me when I was the Chief of Defense Staff. It made a great difference. The National Assembly stood by us all through. Despite the challenges, we were able to move forward. And I can assure you that together, as a servant of this nation, we will continue to work together in ensuring that we secure our dear country. Nigeria is great. And we will never be ashamed, and nobody can intimidate us. That I know. Because we are one people, God's people, that will continue to foster. No matter what other ones are saying, everybody in the world knows Nigeria is great. And it will continue to do great. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Beyond here, has it ever occurred to you that General Musa, even those who do not support the APC, the moment he was announced, the moment the news broke out that he was going to be made the defense minister, even those who hated the APC government, everybody praised President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for making the right choice, which means the Nigerians actually know when someone is doing the right thing, that people know. You saw Igbos, you saw Yorubas, you saw Middle Belters, you saw Niger Deltas. Everybody spoke up for him. Suddenly, the issue of tribalism died down. People said, wow, this was excellent. In one of the groups where I am, somebody tagged me and said, wow, Mazen, why they do like this? So this man where everybody they praise like this. Well, people saw that when he was given job the first time, that he did his possible best. I mean, terrorism didn't stop, but he did his possible best to ensure that terrorism at least was reduced to the barest minimum. Now, in the next clip, he will now begin to talk about what he thinks, why did these terrorists actually come to Nigeria. Until he said that, I didn't have a clue that the terrorists actually think that Nigeria is rich. So they come to Nigeria in order to make it. Nigeria is their greener pasture. So anything they are doing elsewhere, they are going to bring it here to target Nigeria, that Nigeria is like that trophy that everyone wants to go to, the place that everyone wants to go to. And honestly, when I listened to him say this, I was really, really taken aback. And I was asking myself, how come these terrorists from other countries would actually be wanting to come to Nigeria to get rich? Just have a look.
Kidnapping of school. With technology, working together with the armed forces, the police and other security agencies and the communities. I think that's where the gap has been. We will be able to address that properly. I'll be able to also secure these children and to stop issues of kidnapping all over the country. Distinguished Senator Ahmed Lawan, sir, thank you very much, sir. I think one basic area we're also going to look at is accountability of the armed forces. Whatever funds has been made, we want to make sure that the funds are properly utilized. And I think that is very critical, so that we can make sure that whatever it is we're getting are things that will help us and assist us in the members of the armed forces in carrying out their action. Senator Mongonusa, on the issue of policy. Yes, sir, I've been operational all through my life. Now the issue of policy, and I think that's very important, sir. What we have observed over time is that with the MDAs, we have not really been able to get the full support of the MDAs. I think one mistake we make is we think the armed forces can solve all the problems. The armed forces solution is just 20-25%. Majority has to do with good governance, building capacity, working together with all the other MDAs. The police has a lot to contribute. Civil defense, all other agencies, including Foreign Service, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Interior. So we need to harmonize all this diplomatically again, our neighboring countries, Cameroon, Chad, Niger, Benin Republic. We need to also reach out to them, because if they're able to secure their own borders, it means our own borders will be secured. If theirs is porous, ours is going to be porous. And because we have more to lose, the terrorists that we're dealing with think Nigeria is so rich that when they come to Nigeria, they can make it. So anything they're doing anywhere, their target, end state, is to come into Nigeria. And that's why it's important that we must make sure that we secure our borders and deny them the entry. And then those ones that are within, we're able to take them out. There will be zero policy on anything banditry, terrorism. We're going to go out. I'll make sure that the armed forces will go fully all out, working together with the locals. Because like I said, sir, security is localized. If we don't carry the communities along, we're going to continue to run an issue kidnapping.
So, you heard him. If we do not carry the communities along, we are not making any headway. And he also repeated what I said to us before. What he said is that these individuals come into Nigeria thinking that Nigeria is a place where their greener pastures is going to be met. Now, beyond that, the question was around why Southwest appeared, in parentheses, to be more protected than every other region. Here is his view.
That's why it's important that we must bring them together, working with the state governments particularly. Why the Southwest seem to be doing very well, sir, is because all the governors agreed together. And that's why regionally, governors must come together, because 2, 3 are better than 1. And that's why for us to them to understand that the bandits do not respect border. They do not at all. They are, in fact, where they get their strength is their ability to run when you attack them, especially around Sokoto area. They enter Niger. And once they get to Niger, you can't touch them until they come back in. And that's why I said it's important that for the multinational joint task force in Gemena, we need to also build up their capacity to hold up down towards the border with Mali and Burkina Faso, because we're beginning to have those, and that's why we're having those incursions into Kwara, coming down southwest, and we must stop them not to get further than that. I think action has already been done and put in place. It is for us to harmonize all this, firstly to ensure that all the MDS know they have a role to play. And so one important aspect is our legal system that we need to look at. Most of our laws look obsolete, and because sometimes justice is delayed, then it becomes a problem. Because once punishment is meted immediately and action is done, it serves as deterrence to others. And that's why I think critical that we must be. And so I mentioned that all the MDS need to do the legal service, the correctional service, the civil defense, all mining activities have to be monitored properly, because that's another source of funding. All areas that they are getting their funds for, we must look at those aspects and stop and prevent them. And like we said, sir, the ability to also monitor where the funds are going to. If we're able to do that holistically using technology, sir, we'll achieve so much. Thank you very much. That's why it's important.
Okay. At this point comes the Ogagbata of them all. When he was asked all these questions, and he, in his best of ability, he gave his best shot. He answered the questions that was asked. A senator stood up and said, at this point, can we ask him to bow and go? As usual, bow and go. Without knowing that there are some senators who are afraid of Donald Trump and what Donald Trump could do. This then ensued.
President of the Senate and the general assent of the senators present. Then when you go to closure of debates, section 58, after a question has been proposed, which I want to propose, a senator rising in his place may claim to move that the question be now put. Sir, can I stop here just to expatiate? This is a chief of defense staff that had been in the system. He knew everything, and we are talking about security, and he's going to man a ministry that will be handling security matters for this country. Very sensitive. So I believe that we have had close sessions with him severally, and some of the questions that will be asked here and the responses may not be well dispensed at this moment. So I feel we should just allow this gentleman to take a bow and go. No, not carry. There's not. This is it. There is nothing no here. There is nothing no here. We have asked him all these questions before at closed session. Do you want to ask here? Mr. President is to rule.
You can see that the House was in a very rowdy session because of this bow and go. Suddenly, for the fear of America, for the fear of Donald Trump, because all eyes are now on Nigeria and the Nigerian Senate, they've been getting away with a lot of things, but this time around, they are scared because the cameras are there, the world is watching, because Nigeria is being accused of looking the other way. Why Christian genocide is happening in Nigeria. So, in all this, many of them started shouting on top of their lungs. Maybe they are trying to say, oh, in case if anything happened though, so that the camera will see me while I was shouting, no, 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 no. And at that point, the Senate president had to intervene. And he had the following to say.
Most of the questions are security questions. Most of the questions are security questions. We are on TV. Order, please. Order, please. Sit, please. Sit. Whenever the president of the Senate or the chairman, as in this case, of the committee of the whole, rises, yes, if you are a senator, you know this. Whenever you are sworn in, we give you this. Not for you to go and give it to your children or to keep it in your closet, but for you to read and understand the procedures and the proceedings of the Nigerian Senate. Please, I don't mean to say something that will offend anybody, but I believe this is our own Quran. This is our own Bible. Unless you don't want to be a senator. Whenever the president of the Senate or the chairman rises during a debate, any senator then speaking clerk of the Senate, have you noticed that at that entrance there's a lot of noise? No, but there are people there. Sergeant at Arms, look at the people there now. Get their names down and we make sure that they are changed. Because they engage in too much discussion with senators and disturb us here. They are supposed to keep quiet and do their work. Why they allow the Senate to have decorum? Whenever the president of the Senate or the chairman rises during a debate, any senator then speaking or offering to speak shall sit down, and the Senate or the committee shall be silent so that the president of the Senate or the chairman of the committee of the whole may be heard without any interruption. I tactically stood up so that those who are old senators will understand why I'm on my feet. Those who are young in the Senate will not understand. So I'm on my feet. Senator Musa, Senator Musa, your point of order is noted.
But
I did not say rejected, but noted. The reason I say so is that the man standing in front of us could be regarded as a solution to the current insecurity in the country. And we are not here on our own. We are here
representing our constituents.
Yeah.
And our constituents would like to hear from him. Whether his appointment will enable them to sleep well, whether their children will be safe in schools. So we are not asking him questions because we don't like him. We're asking him questions because our constituents would have loved to ask him questions at a time like this. So if we come here and we do politics of bow and go, this is not a period we should say bow and go. Even Donald Trump is on our neck. We have not yet asked him what his response will be to Donald Trump, the President of America. He is not just anybody. Chief of Defense Staff, a nominee for a Minister of Defense of a country, and you stand up and say you should take a bow and go, with so many questions on the mouth of Nigerians, with over 200 Nigerian children in the bush, kidnapped and being tortured. His appointment is heralded all over Nigeria with happiness because Nigerians believe he has something to offer. Give the man an opportunity to give Nigerians hope.
Well, you would ask if the Senate president is just waking up. Isn't that a good thing? Why actually the nonsensical idea of bow and go? But here, the people wanted Musa to talk because, like without really regurgitating what he said, the issues of security bedeviling Nigeria, the children so kidnapped and whatnot happening in Nigeria. The next is then, after all these arguments, a question then was asked, how come General Uba was by himself when he was killed? If you recall General Uba, the general that was said to have been attacked and his convoy immobilized, he escaped with his orderly, sent a message via WhatsApp to his superior and colleagues. Moments later, the men of underworld came and they killed the general. That prompted the question to ask, if the general was already out of harm's way, was in a safe location, and shared his location through WhatsApp, not to a public forum, but to his superior, it made so many Nigerians to begin to question, did his superior actually give away his location? In some of these things, General Musa, Christopher Musa, may not say it the way we are saying it, but listen and listen in between the lines of what he said.
That we all have for the security situation in the country and the need for us to be very proactive in ensuring that we address them. So starting with the issues of General Uba, very unfortunate for a brigade commander to be captured and shown the way they did. It's really unfortunate and it's very painful. I want to assure Nigerians that we will not stand by and see terrorists have the capacity to do such. We're going to go after them fully, working together with all the security agencies and all the NDAs that I've said. We're going to investigate fully. So I know the Senate has established a committee to look into that. The armed forces also has a way. And then from the defense, we're going to make sure that we continue with the oversight over their activities. No indolence, no act of cowardice will be entertained. We're going to make sure that we follow them critically to see what they are doing from the commanders down to the troops. They must be professional. I was wondering how the general himself was alone when he's supposed to have his own troops with him. So there are questions that need answering. And I can assure you, sir, we're going to get to the bottom of this. We'll find out what happened, who are those involved, including that one for the children at Maga. It is unfortunate that the troops will be there and then will leave and shortly something happened. It is unacceptable. And I can assure you, sir, we're going to investigate and all those found culpable will face the law accordingly. And we'll make sure that we monitor all the activities of the armed forces and the security agencies, make sure that they remain very, very professional. Any information that comes will be treated adequately, and make sure that the troops also take action as quickly as possible. But I want to assure Nigerians that are coming on board, having served 39 years all through my career in the armed forces, we have seen what is going on, we have understood what is going on, and we know what we need. All I'm appealing, sir, is that with your approval, once we come on stream, we're going to come back to you, sir, to show you exactly what we need for us to do better, for us to achieve success. We can win this war, but we must work together. We must get the support, because I can tell you, not calling members, there's still a lot of gaps within the armed forces that is also mitigating against them be able to achieve success fully into what we're doing. And like I said, we need the state governors, we need everyone to be on board for us to be able to achieve that. So my assurance is, from day one, we're going to monitor and review all our activities, all the operations that we're doing. Where we have done wrong, we're going to take measures to address them. Where things need to be done, we're going to, and then we're going to come back again, sir, because there are areas that we need your support. And like Senator Lawan mentioned, the issue of funding. Without proper funding, it's going to be extremely, extremely difficult. But I want to thank the Senate again, sir, for all the support, but to assure Nigerians and the Senate that we are going to spend everything that is required to ensure that there is peace in Nigeria. Our children are going to be secured and safe, but it's going to be that all of us are working together in ensuring that is achieved. Thank you very much.
Okay, so he's promising that things will be different under his words, and that things will have to, that things will change. While he's doing that, another senator who felt, okay, you are promising us so much, maybe we need to be skeptical a little bit, and chipped in what Nigerians been thinking, saying to him, if we approve you to become the Minister of Defense, we will give you 6 months. If you do not deliver in 6 months, we will then have to start the motion to recall you. And I said, well, that shouldn't be coming from a senator. That should be coming from the president. 6 months. If you do not deliver, I will sack you. Just give them that. Let that come from the executive. You will see them really standing up and working their ass off.
Could have asked, had been asked. But it's to say to you, based on where you're coming from, the commendations and accolades that you've gotten from my colleagues, is to say to you that I will be requesting the Senate to give you like what had not been done before. You will be approved, but in principle it will be probational. If within the first 6 months these sensitive questions are not brought to bear in the affirmative, where is Brigadier General who authorized the withdrawal of soldiers 30 minutes before the operation that saw to the kidnapping of the MAGA, 25 children in MAGA, and etc., are not answered, or no progress is seen by the Senate, by extension the country, because the Senate is the country. We represent Nigerians here. If those are not taken care of within the first 6 months, this same Senate that members have applauded you, commended you, and will approve you, the same Senate will call on the president to send you packing, so that any other person that is saddled with the responsibility that you are saddled or will be saddled with which quote and unquote will be within the sphere of security responsibilities, will sit up when and if such a person is saddled with the responsibility you are saddled with. To this, or with this, once more I congratulate you and I caution you to have, I don't know if you play polo because you are not a polo player, I would have known. But for you, for an officer retired that has gotten to the level that you had gotten, eyes on the ball. Thank you.
I mean, Papa there, eyes on the ball. He couldn't be more, you know, he couldn't say that much better, right? Eyes on the ball. At the end of the day, the man is now, I mean, the names will be going back to the president for his assent, and the president does the needful when, you know, when they finish every other one. But in the Senate WhatsApp group, something already was brewing. The Senate had to shut down their WhatsApp group that no other person posts anything because of Reno mockery, the one mocking himself. Remember Reno, the man who during or rather after the election went ahead and said that he has, you know, that he had gone to America, and because he has gone to America, that he found out that the president didn't school in America, and he called the president unprintable names, you know, that had to do with, you know, drug issues, blah, 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 right? Suddenly, he's now been, you know, is among the lists sent to the Senate to be reviewed. But some Nigerians are not having it. Some are saying that, you know, that he should not be considered for the position of ambassador. Some have written a very, very dire, you know, petition against him. One of those petitions, let me quickly read that out for us. One of those petitions was done today, as we published here. You can look at you can see that on our website. If you want, we can also share. Let's quickly share that for you in the comment section, so you can also read it yourself. So in the comment section, if you're watching from Facebook, if you're watching from YouTube, you can see in the comment section the link to this petition against Reno mockery. And the petition here reads: Citizen petitions Senate President Akpabio opposes nomination of Reno mockery as ambassador. A public petition has been addressed to the President of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, urging the upper chamber to reject the nomination of Reno mockery for an ambassadorial appointment on grounds of alleged unsuitability. The letter, written by Valentine Obianyem, titled "The Instability of Mr. Reno mockery for ambassadorial appointment," raises concerns over what the author describes as Mr. Omokri's publicly documented record of sustained verbal attacks against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Obianyem noted that his intervention was not motivated by political rivalry or partisan consideration, but by what he termed patriotic duty to safeguard Nigerian international reputation. He emphasized that the Senate's constitutional responsibility to thoroughly vet nominees and ensure that only individuals of proven character and dignity represent the nation abroad. Now, he continues, according to the letter, Mr. Omokri had in recent years repeatedly made disparaging remarks about President Tinubu, referring to him in published comment as a drug addict, a drug pusher, an invalid who has lost his faculties, and the grandfather of corruption. Obianyem argued that appointing someone who had publicly issued such statement to serve as a Nigerian envoy will create credibility challenge for the country diplomacy. Now, this is a question, this is a direct quote in parentheses. What message do you intend to send to the to host country if such a man is confirmed to represent Nigeria there? The letter asked, how will Nigeria be respected when our ambassador are seen as people whose personal conviction can be bent for convenience, or who are rewarded despite undermining the dignity of the state? The author suggested that if President Tinubu still wished to engage on mockery services, it should be in domestic capacity, where potential embarrassment will be local, rather than on the international stage. Ambassadors, he stressed, must embody consistency, honor, and integrity as they serve as the face of the nation abroad. Obianyan further cautioned that Nigeria already confronted with image management challenges on the global front, should not worsen its situation by deploying a representative whose past statement could compromise diplomatic engagement from the onset. He concluded by expressing confidence that the Nigerian Senate, under Godswill Akpabio's leadership, would act in the interest of Nigerian dignity by rejecting the nomination. Neither Mr. Omokri nor the office of the Senate President had issued an official response at the filing of this report. What that simply means, people, that people are not happy with Reno Omokri, the one that is mocking himself. If you go back and if you go to the public sphere to look at actually the things Reno Omokri had said, you will see there is more than enough evidence. So let's refresh our memories here. When Reno Omokri was going round calling Bola Tinubu a drug lord, no be me talk am, na him talk am, na him use him mouth talk am, no be my mouth him use talk am, na him use him mouth talk am, no be me talk am. Now, Reno Omokri talk am, right? He was calling Bola Ahmed Tinubu a drug lord. Now him talk am, Reno.
Bola Tinubu is a known drug lord. I went there. Another person isn't telling me. You see the picture on the screen. I took that picture. If you move to the right, you're going to see me in that picture. Bola Tinubu is a known drug lord. He has this man who is meant to be the Minister of Labor and Productivity, or rather say unproductivity, who went on TV to try to hoodwink Nigerians, telling them that the charge against Bola Tinubu was just for tax, that all he paid was tax, that it had nothing to do with drugs. That is a big lie. I have the document here. Nigerians can see it. I hope you can see it on the screen here. I have the document here. It actually says, and if you look at it, it says docket. A docket, and as I'm speaking, your viewers can go on Google and fact check me. A docket is used for a criminal pending. A criminal pending. So you don't use a docket for a civil matter. And then right on the very first paragraph on this docket, it says that this is a forfeiture action under under 21 USC section 881. USC is the United States Criminal Code. I will set it again. USC is the United States Criminal Code. Now, if you're watching at home, you can go on Google and you can fact check me.
So he keeps he kept asking Bola Tinubu these questions day after day. That's why this letter was written. Hear him again here.
No, Omokri, the table shaker here. And I've got a question for Bola Tinubu. Very direct, simple question. Sir, were you linked to a heroin drug forfeiture case in the United States, specifically in Chicago between the years 1992 and 1993? It's very simple. Yes or no? Because I challenge you to deny it or take me to court, because I do know for a fact that you were linked to such a case. We've got the court documents. And the question to Nigerians is this: can we afford to be led by a man with a known drug past? Heroin of all drugs, one of the most damaging drugs. Think about how such a man will be vulnerable to foreign intelligence services, to mafia crime families and other organized criminal organizations. We cannot afford to have such a vulnerable president. So it's a question we have to ask ourselves. Look at the man. Can he pass a drug test if it's given to him by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency? You know, so these are questions, pertinent questions that we need to ask, because he's not contesting to be the governor or president of his father's compound. He's contesting to be your president, to be my president. And we have the right to ask these pertinent questions because we are all involved. So Bola Tinubu, again, were you linked with a heroin drug forfeiture case in the United States in Chicago between the years 1992 and 1993? Very simple question. Because if you're not, I challenge you to take me to court. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Yesterday, I did a video calling on Bola Tinubu to answer a simple question. Just yes or no. Are you a drug lord? Because we've got documents showing that you were involved in a heroin cartel in Chicago between the years of 1991 and 1993. So it's a very, very simple question. We've got the documents showing that you forfeited almost $500,000 to the US government. And I have a master's in law, and if you've read law, you know that when you forfeit, it's almost like a conviction, because what you're saying is that, look, yes, I'm guilty, but I don't want to go all the way to trial. You know, take what you want and then leave me alone. And so we need to ask this question, Bola Tinubu: were you a heroin drug lord? Because we don't want a person who is connected to drugs being our president. If you were not contesting to be president of Nigeria, I wouldn't be doing this video. It's a very, very simple question. Some people reached out to me. I got threats, which I'm going to ignore. But, you know, well-meaning people reached out to me and said, look, you know, leave this matter. It's in the past. Why should I leave this matter? How do you know it's in the past? Look at the kind of cartel behavior that Bola Tinubu has been exhibiting since 1999. Everybody who wants to be anything from governor to commissioner to other positions in Lagos have to come through him. That is a typical cartel behavior. Look what's happening right now with the National Union of Road Transport Workers. They have Bola Tinubu stickers on their Danfo buses and other public transport buses. They have to pay 20,000, they say, to buy the stickers, and then a renewal fee of 10,000 every month. Otherwise, what they call Agbero, or, you know, the National Union of Road Transport Workers, which are led by Bola Tinubu's thugs in Lagos, will just cause mayhem. So that's that cartel behavior. And then if he's done it in Lagos, he's going to take it to Aso if he's elected. So we as a people should be asking these questions. He's not contesting to be president of the Tinubu household. He's contesting to be our president. So we want to know, Bola Tinubu, are you a heroin drug lord? Because we don't want a Pablo Escobar kind of president. We don't want Nigeria to be reduced to Colombia. We already have enough problems with insecurity. We don't want drug cartels now fighting over. We don't want anybody to make our president vulnerable. These are questions. Yes or no, Bola Tinubu, were you a drug lord? Just yes or no. Thank you for watching.
So he keeps asking that question, and that's what, you know, when these individuals have watched this over and over again, they are petitioning the Senate president, saying this guy is not fit for purpose.
You've called Ashiwaju a drug lord, and so many unprintable names you've spoken about with regards to candidates.
Well, that's not true. I mean, if you can tell me the unprintable names that I've said, please say it here. That is false. I've not used any unprintable names. Is drug lord a pleasant name? Is that something you can... No. Please, can I respond to that? Yeah. Drug lord is not an unprintable name. If you are a drug lord, first and foremost, if you are a thief, it is not libel to say you are a thief. How am I going to tell you that if you are a thief, I'll come and meet you and say, oh, you are a nice person who diplomatically likes to take things that do not belong to you? No, you are a thief. Bola Tinubu is a non-drug lord. It's not an unprintable word. I've got facts to back it up. You know, I've got...
You've called Ashiwaju a drug lord, and so many...
Sorry, apart from those ones that he, you know, said on television, he led, when Tinubu was also in London, he led a protest. And look at what he was calling.
Tinubu, heroin! Tinubu, drugs! Tinubu, heroin! Tinubu, drugs! Tinubu, heroin!
So do you think that a person, I mean, in line with the petition that was written to the Senate president, do you think that a person with this character, a person, your ambassador, I don't know which country, but if you were to be in a country and you hear that this guy is your ambassador, would you want to, would you be proud that the man of such character, that McGanot said the only thing you can probably take serious, but that you have to fact check again, is his good morning, right? So I do not know. Now, lastly, here, before I leave you guys, is the crisis in PDP. The crisis in PDP, Nigeria is a funny place. The crisis in PDP has, took a new tone. The PDP chairman wrote a disclaimer and posted it that Wike is no longer part of PDP. And he thought it was not enough. I mean, I can't make this up, people. I mean, this is so funny. I can't make it. He thought this was not enough. You know what the guy did? The guy wrote certificate of expulsion. That is, they sack you. They write certificate to give you, say they sack you. I mean, you can't, I tell you, you can't make it up. You sack somebody. You write a certificate saying you sacked that person. Look, listen to how he issued the certificates.
Distinguished members of the press, as I'm talking to you, these certificates have been dispatched via courier to go to the 11 persons that have been expelled. This is a certificate of expulsion of His Excellency Nyesom Wike. A copy, original copy, via courier. This is the certificate of Ayodele Fayoshe, His Excellency. It has been sent to him also through courier.
Okay, guys, I will let that continue. But let me show you the certificate in question. I mean, you can't make this up. It's so funny. Look at it here. The certificate of expulsion. I tweeted this earlier. I mean, I can't. People's Democratic Party, power to the people, motto, justice, unity, and progress, blah, blah, blah. Be it known that Nyesom Wike, who was once a member of PDP, having violated Article 1, Article 10, subsection 6, sections 33, 1, 2, 5, is, blah, 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 has been sacked from the party. I can't make this up. This is funny. This is the first time in history that school, gives you expulsion. They don't give you expulsion letter. They give you certificate of expulsion. Actually, with this certificate of expulsion, you can now enter another party. So you can now go and tell them, I am hereby certified that I am expelled from this party. Therefore, can you then bring me into your own party? You can hear even in one of the interviews granted by Daniel Bwala. Daniel Bwala actually gave reasons why Wike should have been expelled then. But politics, once camp is changed, then no sin is seen to be committed, right? Once a camp is changed, no sin is seen to be committed. Let's listen to Daniel Bwala, then I bring the letter of expulsion once more, because I think the audio didn't play then.
If you look at the provisions of the Constitution of PDP regarding punishment and offences, you will find that Wike has violated at least, that I know, about 3, taking a decision that is antithetical to the party's objective, making comments that is anti-party, right? Engaging in activities that is called anti-party, meaning that activities that run against the ideals of your party. Wike started that right from the beginning after he lost. You see, Wike does not know how to fail gracefully. After he lost the bid to become presidential candidate of the party, he went berserk. And from that day, he never got himself, right? Has broken every rules in the book. It is from that point that Wike should have been given a notice. By the time the election judgment was delivered, in my opinion, that was the appropriate time to suspend him. But some of the offenses he committed were offenses that called for outright expulsion from the party. Now, that has not happened. Do I have hope that the party will do that? Of course, if you belong to a political party, you have hope. Do I believe the party is doing enough to deal with Wike's issue? No, I don't think so. And I speak that in my private capacity as a citizen. I don't want to be identified with anything that is not viral and strong, right? A political party should engage the governing party on objective and ideals. We should play opposition by looking at their policies, interrogate the policies for the purposes of developing this thing called democracy in Nigeria. But we have not been able to find a seat where we play that effectively because we are distracted by an element who should be grateful to the party rather than being ungrateful and making all kinds of statements that are antithetical to the party. To a point, we are now, this is the point now, to a point where now he even had the audacity to say that it is the presidential candidate of the party that should be suspended. That's what happened when you fail to deal with a monster. The minute he grows and develops the tenets and the qualities of a monster, the next thing is he come against you. This thing Wike is doing cannot be tolerated by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Okay.
This that I know about.
Now, that is Daniel Boala there speaking. Recall that I think when he spoke this truth was when he was still with Atiku. And this is how Wike, I think the audio wasn't there before. Let me play that again. This was how the expulsion letter was read out to them, right? Let's quickly, listen to that now.
Distinguished members of the press, as I'm talking to you, these certificates have been dispatched via courier to go to the 11 persons that have been expelled. This is a certificate of expulsion of His Excellency Nyesom Wike. A copy, original copy, via courier. This is the certificate of Ayodele Fayoshe, His Excellency. It has been sent to him also through courier. This is a proof that he has been expelled from PDP. Certificate of Distinguished Senator Samuel Anyang. It has been sent to him via courier. Next is the certificate of expulsion of Umaru Bature, Honorable Umaru Bature. It has also been sent to him via courier. Next is the certificate of Kamaluddin Adeyemi Ajibade, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. It has also been sent to him through courier. Next is that of Abdurrahman Mohammed. It has also been sent to him via courier. It's for Mao, Senator Mao Ohabonwa. It has also been sent to him via courier services. The next one is for Mr. Austin Nwachukwu. Certificate of expulsion has also been sent to him via courier. The next one is that of Abraham. It has been sent to him via courier. George Turner. This certificate, as I'm talking to you, has been sent to him also via courier services. I'm sure some of them have already received it. Last but not the least is that of Chief Dan Obi. It has been sent to him through courier. We have done this for Nigerians, particularly critical institutions that are involved in managing the affairs of political parties, especially INEC, and that have been managing the affairs of main security affairs in the society, most especially Nigeria Police, Department of Security Services, Nigeria Civil Defense, and other agencies of government, to know that these people are no longer members of our party. They have been expelled, they remain expelled,
We have now certified their expulsion.
So the expulsion is now hereby certified. Wike and Co is now expelled. So what you know is that now they are free to go and nyendeba. But you know that some people, when they hear that, they will not understand. They will shake their head. In fact, without equivocation, they may not.
Today, I want to declare without
Whether you are declaring without equivocating anything, Wike remains expelled.
Before I go on, let me postulate from the Franz Fanonian dictum, which stipulates that the dialectics of reconciling two conflicting ideas is the algebra of revolution.
Whether you are reconciling or you're not reconciling, Wike is expelled. Oga, whether you agree or you not agree, Wike remains expelled.
I said, if Ahmed Bola Tinubu fails, hold me responsible.
Oga, whether if Tinubu fails or not, Wike remains expelled.
I don't want to sit here and reveal all.
Don't reveal anything, Mr. President. Whether you are revealing anything, Wike remains expelled. The best thing for him now is to go to church, as usual. Even his brother will say he's 70 years.
Too much.
I mean, how can you say PDP, Mimo? But he has been expelled. He has been expelled. No matter how you look at it. Anyway, I learned he went to church to ask for forgiveness for the things he did to PDP that led to his expulsion. Wike in church.
Of this, as old as you are, as old as you are, yes, sir, you will never change.
He will never change. That's why he's gone to church. Me, I will change because it is time for me to go to the other room. Good night, everybody. I am still Mazes. Okay, if you haven't subscribed to this platform, please like, share, and subscribe.
La la la.